Welcome back, everybody. And for those that are joining for the first time, welcome. And if you don't know me, I'm Gabriel Lascano, and I will be doing a course to teach you guys about like collaboration with Unity and how to make a basic 2D game. We will be exploring the tool, the Unity tool, so you can get familiarized with how and which are the main like tools that you will use to be able to create a video game. Um, I want to start saying that this course is in partnership with New Media Manitoba, as you can see in the screen. They were the ones that helped me to get this possible. So let's get started. And today I'm gonna just start giving you a brief description of what we will do. So the same as the last time, if you wanna follow along on the first steps, I have prepared a website. This is my website, so you can just copy it and paste it and put it like on the side while you're looking at this if you want. If you also wanna follow along the course, this time I will try to go a little bit slow so you can also try to do it at the same time. And we have a chat here, so if you have any questions, please just feel free to ask, and I will be more than glad to answer you. So, here in my website, as I told you, I prepared a little course. We went through this on the previous video, on the previous streaming. Now here, if you go, there's gonna be like the streaming video. If you missed, I split the video in 7 parts, like the main important topics that were touched on each of the sections, so it's a little bit easier to follow. Maybe there's some things that you already know and you wanna just skip, you can go to the next video. So just a quick summary. Last time we went through what was going to be covered in this course. We start talking about what's version control. We talk about Git, why we decided to go with Git, how to install it in the different platforms. We generated our SSH keys, which for those who didn't see last episode, is the way we are gonna connect our local repository with our remote repository. I recommend you guys, once you are gonna start doing this part of the video, like this session, to go back to this one. You can either watch the video or follow this website, and it will make things way more easier. It's not like you need some of this. It's important to have it to be able to start doing what we will cover on this session, but you will be able to do it without it. So that's why the first class, it was a little bit different, and it was more about talking more about Git and collaboration. We also talk about like different host companies for your software development version control, and the one that we will be using for this case will be GitHub. There's some steps that I created for you to set up your SSH key with GitHub, so you can connect your repos with your project. Here, hello. Then I propose like another solution, because Git, the normal way you will use it is using it through the command line or like the terminal in Mac and Linux. But it could be a little bit challenging and overwhelming. So I am proposing some solutions, some alternatives that uses like user interfaces like GitKraken, SourceTree, GitHub Desktop. Those will make things way more easy, because you will have a visual tool that will let you do the things that you normally do with Git on the command line. So we are gonna cover part 2 on this one. This one will be a little bit more focused, or mainly focused on Unity, to get to know the tool and how to set it up with Git. If you miss on the previous session, I just want to show you like the type of game that we will be developing during this course. Is pretty simple, but we will cover movement, like the physics to jump, animations that you can see, how to attack, like the platforms, how to interact with objects in the world, checkpoints like this one, how to fall and respawn, how do you get attacked by an enemy and lose life, and that you can hit your enemy to kill it so it will die, and also has an animation. This and a little bit more will be covered in the course, so let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about like game development itself. It's something that for myself is my greatest passion, after my wife and my daughter now. But like doing video games is something that really fulfills me. I love doing video games, and this was since I was very young. Like my entire life, I loved games, but making them is way more satisfying. Like gives me more satisfaction. So when I was starting to look into how to make games, well, I first started when I was doing my computer engineering degree into how to make a game using like a programming language. And of course, because it was not a game development course, I ended up doing my first game, like my first games in first in Visual Basic, and it was just a console game. And then the other one that actually had some UI, like UI elements, it was on Java. So you can imagine doing that there. It was very fun. I really love it. That's why I knew I needed to go further. So I started to investigate, and I found there's some game engines which are a great tool for you to build like an entire game. This will like cut like enormously the time that you have to spend and the skills you need to make a game. Like you of course need a lot of skills still, like to be able to make it, but it's not like everything just in code, which sometimes could be pretty long to do. So the engines, there's a couple, there's a bunch game engines that you can use, but there are like some very popular now and common use game engines. The two big ones that we can know, and like they're the most known in the industry, it's Unity and Unreal Engine. So those two engines will let you do games. There are some couple of difference between the both. I will say one of the main difference is that Unity, you will program it using C Sharp, which is the language that you will use to program your games. In Unreal, you will have to use C++ to program your games. So this is one of the main difference that makes some people not go with Unreal, for example. Of course, this is just my personal opinion. I have seen thousands of videos of different reasons why people use Unity or different reasons why people use Unreal. There are videos where people say that Unity is as capable as Unreal, and some others say that if you want to just make AAA games, you have to go with Unreal. But there's a whole thing. There's a huge topic about it. I love Unity. I have worked with both, and for the sake of this course, because we are gonna start from it, like from the very beginning, I wanna teach you guys in Unity how to do a 2D game, like the one that we just saw. So I prepared this website here, and what we are going to do is I recommend you guys downloading the Unity Hub. So the Unity Hub, it's something that Unity has released like not long ago, I will say, and it's a pretty good tool because Unity has different versions, like similar to every single software, like even like Windows or whatever. Everything has versions. That's because you like the company that is making it keeps making improvements and giving more features and listening to the community to alter the tool and give more to the community, right? In this case, like Unity has different versions, And what happens is that when you start your project, you most likely will start with one version. But because games take so long to make, it's not something that you will do in a couple of days. You usually end up with an older version than the last version of Unity. But the next time you want to make another game, you probably want to take advantage of the latest bug fixes or the latest features. But you don't want to update your previous project because it will probably break some things. For the most part, like lately, Unity has been pretty good with the updates. Like sometimes, of course, you can just update your project to a newer version, and for the most part it will go well. You will have to maybe refactor a couple of scripts and you will maybe lose some things, but it's not much. I recommend you looking into like the comments on the patch to see what was changed and see if it will affect your project. But in the past this will be catastrophic. Like I remember once, like the first time that this happened to me, I was using a very old version of Unity and I moved to 5 something at the time, and the entire project just broke. Like everything was broken. I remember when like even get component, that's something a proprietary from Unity, uh, was introduced and all the code was changed. So you will have to go through all your code and change it. So it's kind of like a fun like thing that I wanna like, to share with you guys. But that's why Unity has created the Unity Hub, which let you keep the projects and your like Unity versions. So I'm just gonna open it here so you guys can see how it is. So this is the hub, and its main power, to say, is that instead of you installing each Unity version, because that's what we used to do when the hub didn't exist, you will install each version of your computer in a different folder, keep track of it, open it, like open your Unity using the right version for your project, because if not, then it's gonna be like the refactoring and everything. In this case, you just install your version. It will be hosted here, and when you are gonna launch your project or when you are gonna create a new project, you just go ahead and select which version you wanna use for your project. So the hub has made things way easier in that regard. So I will suggest you guys to go ahead and download the hub. If you, as I told you, you can start following up. If you have any questions, just ask them. And if not, you can just look at this video later in the recording in the YouTube channel, or you can follow this website. The next part is the activation of the hub. So you see here licensing, and some people might get a little bit scared when they hear about licensing. And if you know a little bit about games, like licensings are so expensive. I like a license for a game engine. It's highly expensive if you are just starting with games. But fortunately, Unity has made a personal activation license, like a Unity personal use. This is something that made the change, like make the difference for Unity, because like a lot of indie game developers will be able to use it. As you can see here, I have just the quick description that Unity has the personal use, meaning if you don't use it professionally, so like if we, as we are doing it right now, we're just doing it for learning this course, or if you're in your school and you want to use it, or just by yourself, or you want to just make a game as a hobby in a game jam or something like that, or if your company earned less than 100,000 in gross revenue in the previous fiscal year, which is it's quite a lot. Like it's some money. Not like for a decent company that will be nothing, but for like a startup or like you as a game indie developer, it will probably be enough to cover you until you start getting actually revenue from your games. So it's a great option. So for you guys, here is as well like the picture and how to set up your license. It's pretty easy. Once you open the hub, it won't let you go through because you need to activate your license. So it will take you right away to the license management. If not, here as you can see, you will see the general and the license management tab. You will be there and you will be able to see to activate your license. Once you get here, it's gonna ask you if you wanna do the Unity Personal or a Unity Plus or Pro. The Unity Pro will give you access to some extra features in the engine if you wanna pay the license, like the seats, and it will make the dark theme appear, which is pretty nice. But like for the most part, it gives you pretty good features when you are publishing a game. For example, I don't know if you have seen, I can show you here in the game. When you start loading a game, this is the splash screen made with Unity. If you have Unity Pro, you will be able to override that and just add Shadowhood Company, Gabriel Lascano Company, um, into the splash screen. So those are kind of one of the features. There's a lot of more, but like we are not gonna cover this right now. The link to Unity is there, so you can go, and if you want to read a little bit more about it, I will encourage you on doing it. After you activated your license, we are going to start downloading the version that we need. So Unity Hub has like a feature to get those new versions. So if I go to installs and I want to add a new version, it will pop up this nice menu and it will tell me the latest official release and the latest pre-release. And that's everything that it will show me. Like it's good because I know which are the like the versions that I can use. For example, in my case, because I have to keep checking for the latest like the latest version and the latest patch on Unity. So in my company, we can develop like with using like taking advantage of the latest features that Unity has. I can go and start like looking into the alpha, into the beta, just making some test projects and checking it out to see what was introduced and if it's something that we want to use or not, right? So it's pretty handy and I liked that feature. And also we have like the stable versions. But what happens if you already have a project before and you really need that version? Like as you can see here, I have some versions here. Well, you can head to Unity Archives. I think I added here. Yeah, Unity Archives. This is the link. Oh, sorry. Uh, you go here, and in here you will be able to select which version you want to check. So that's what I was telling you. I think the first time that I had the error, I was going from 3 to 4 or something like that, or 4 to 5. I had a major trouble there, but like now it's more stable. You can select which version and then you can go through all the patch they have created. You can go and see the release notes, which is pretty good and handy. And then you can, if you don't have the hub, you will have to download it directly, or you can just click the Unity hub and it will open the Unity hub here. That will just pop up here and it will show like it's gonna start downloading. It's gonna ask you some extra things, which is great because it's, let me see if I can show you. For example, I don't know if I have this one here. You can add some models. So for example, well, let me just start again. This is something very important. Unity, difference that has with like just doing a game in plain programming language is that Unity is a multi-platform engine. What does that mean is that Unity is capable to making a game to like to produce a final game to different platforms, right? So as you can see here, these are all the platforms that Unity can build to. So I can build to an Android, to an iOS, to Linux, to Mac, to Windows platform. So for the Windows phones that doesn't exist anymore, but like there's some like the HoloLens and things like that, WebGL, and the normal Windows. And this is for the Magic Leap. So you will think like, oh, okay, but like this is basically for a mobile game, but it's not that way. Like mobile games, different phones have different OS, like, and you need to develop with a specific type of language to be able to run an application there. So if you want to run an application in an Android device like a Samsung or something like this, you will need to develop it in Android. So that's why you like Unity is so powerful, because you build just one game, but you can export it to basically everything. You will have to do some adjustments, but it's minor compared to doing the entire game in different languages. For Android, you will require these little guys, the Android SDK, NDK, and the OpenJDK, to be able to build to your phone. In case of iOS, you will, when you build, you just get an Xcode project, which is something that you will open with Xcode, and then you will be able to build to your phone. And when you build for example, Windows, then you will get an exe file, and a bunch of folders that you will require. And the WebGL, you basically get like a web version of it, which is what we have here. Okay, so that's how you will get the Unity version. So in this case, guys, I will like you to get Unity 19.1.10. That's just because it's a version that I have tried, I have tested, and I liked. There's features that I like about it, and I started the project in this one. So if you guys can go ahead and download this one, you will be able to follow along.